and furious.
Oh, it's going to be a spectacular start, I think. Straight in at the deep end today. Both pairs very, very aggressive. Both pairs like to keep the pace on the shuttle. And I think we're in for a real treat to start us off today.
Yes, well, of course, the Chinese pair yesterday, when the world rankings were rerun, have elevated themselves to #1 on the world ranking. They've been #1 before, up 2 places from 3 last week. And the world #1 status has been restored for the world champions. They are, of course, only the #3 seeds, because when the draw was done, when the seeding was done, they were only 3 in the world rankings. Only 3. That's a bit of a contradiction in terms. Well, I think that the umpire is Gilles Cavet of France. I do apologise that our graphic got that slightly wrong. But what's of real interest to us is, of course, the players. The world champions from China, winners of 2 titles this year. But let's first of all look at the world #5s. 19-8 win-loss record for the year, and that translates into winning the Swiss Open for the 2nd consecutive year. 3 semi-finals as well, a couple of quarter-finals. So they're a very consistent pair. Well, their first 2 rounds, no problems at all. First round against the Dutch pairing, won in just 24 minutes, and then against the pair from Taipei, it's Chen Hung-lin and Lin Yu Lang from Taipei, not from Korea. That was run in 26 minutes, so only 50 minutes in total for their 2 matches. Well, as for the world champions, seeded 3, but as I was saying, their world ranking up 2 places to #1, top of the pile. And their win-loss record for the year, very impressive indeed. 20-4, and that equates to 2 titles, the Asian Badminton Championships in Singapore last week. But my goodness, what a tough opening round they had, because the pair they played, Alvin Julianto Chandra and Henda Aprida Gunawan, that was a repeat of the final in Singapore last week, and it went the full distance. Yesterday against the Koreans Cho Gun-woo and Kwon Yi-gu, much more convincing. So a tight opening game, 21-19. Second game was very impressive indeed, wasn't it, Ian? 21-9.
Yes, they're really refining form. They've started the Olympic qualifying period in really, really good form. I think they've done a very heavy physical preparation for the period, and they've come out all guns blazing so far.
Well, this Chinese combination have twice been in the final here. Not only won the title back in 2007, were beaten finalists 2 years ago, lost out to another Korean pairing, Jung Jae-sung and Lee Yong-dae. Didn't play last year, but as you can see from the head-to-head encounters, all 3 previous matches going to the 3 times world champions. Last time they played was in the quarter-final of the All England earlier this year, and incidentally, as you can see, it was 3 games. That's the only time it's been to 3 games in their 3 previous meetings. Three courts in action, of course, here today, quarter-finals day. So the former champions, the current world champions, get this quarter-final underway. Cai Yun, the oldest man on court at the age of 31. And I've been noticing, Ian, he's been wearing heavy strapping on his left knee all week.
Yes, Cai Yun's been one of the Chinese players who's been very vocal about the amount of badminton they're being forced to play this year. He's made several comments about being tired with the start of the new Chinese club league that's come into play this year. Feels he's had to play a little bit too much, but it's been hard to tell that from the way they've started the qualifying period. I have to say they've looked in very, very good form and seem to have really refound their combination, which at times last year they seem to be drifting apart a little bit, but they've been very, very impressive in the last few tournaments.
Yes, in fact, I'd go even further with that, because back in 2009, they only played 5 international individual tournaments as a pair, and I felt that having been beaten in the Olympic final by Marcus Kido and Hendra Setiawan, perhaps there was thoughts maybe of retirement from Cai Yun, especially being the older of the two players. But you're right, there's been a real resurgence in their form and their enthusiasm, it looks to me.
Yeah, they're playing with much more sort of vigour and enthusiasm, as you say, Jill, and they look very formidable at the moment. Cai Yun's also really refound his form around the front of the court. I felt at times when they were playing less tournaments, he wasn't as aggressive as he was when they were winning those World Championships in the forecourt, and now he's really hunting down the shuttle again in the forecourt, and it's, when he's in that sort of form, he's difficult to beat.
Good judgment. The long arm of the left-hander, Fu Haifeng, intercepting there. But just picking up on your point, having seen that last rally, I think when they, you know, a couple of years ago when they first won the world title back in 2006, and I think it was very much Cai Yun who always went forward to the net. I think the Chinese world champions have actually developed as a pair, so I think the left-hander now, Fu Haifeng, is more willing to come to the net. He's not as good as Cai Yun at that next net position, but I think there's more of a willingness to play in any area of the court.
Yes, I think you're right, Jill. I think they're a more versatile pair now. I think they've done a lot of. I think the Chinese coaches have done a lot of work, as you say, on Fu Haifeng's front court play. Particularly now, he's looking for a lot more interceptions up that left-hand side of the court, and that allows Cai Yun to come up on his forehand side as well. So they get two players very high in the court very often now, and that's made a big difference.
What a super net shot from Yu Yong-sung. Yeah, Korean coaches a little nod of approval. Yeah, it's a clever smash across the body of Do Sun-hyung.
Yeah. Ko just guilty there of relaxing a little bit. He felt after the cross lift the attack would be straight on his partner. Just dropped his racket a little bit and caught off guard. Good thinking from Cai Yun.
He's lifted wide, well wide. Of course, we talked extensively yesterday about the drift in Istora Stadium here. And there's a big sideways drift from left to right as we look down on the court. Well, both the Koreans immediately turned and appealed to the umpire. Well, the umpire saying it's too far away and too close for me to overrule, I have to say. Looking at that again, well, difficult to tell from that angle.
Yeah, and definitely too close for the umpire to overrule from the chair. It'll be an interesting matchup, Jill, because both pairs' style of play will suit this hall. This is known to be, it's a very compact hall, and it's one of the quicker halls on the World Circuit. It suits attacking styles of play, and both these pairs are very, very attacking and aggressive in their style.
So to the mid-game interval. The former champions Cai Yun and Fu Haifeng with the 2-point advantage. But presumably, it's the fact that they're both so aggressive and go all out, there's no holding back, as to why we've had such short rallies, just 5 minutes of play so far.
Well, that's very much the feature of the match so far.